September 24th, we let out a bunch of announcements around streaming and IP. And in terms of IP, this is uncompressed digital audio over IP. So there are two key products that we announced in this regard. The first is the openGear Dante card. So it's an OG Dante 12G AM. And what that means is it's a card that's designed to embed and disembed audio to and from 12G SDI, which means it supports up to 4K formats. It's transporting and bridging that audio into the Dante audio ecosystem, which is fabulous. Dante is supported by 450 manufacturers. There's 2,500 products out there in the world. And it allows you to effectively bridge up to 64 channels of audio at a time, simultaneously. So there's two 12G SDI inputs independent. There's two 12G SDI outputs on the card. And being an openGear card, that means you can put a lot of these in a single openGear frame. So up to 10 of them, meaning you can route around 640 channels of audio that way. So this is fantastic for live broadcasts, for a lot of remote workflows right now. So you could have a openGear card like this inside the frame that could be at a centralized location, and people can be shuttling audio, of course, across the internet. It's an Ethernet network, and it's ubiquitous 1 gig E too. So even if you're doing digital audio work at home, for instance, you can use Dante's virtual sound card software in that particular case. And all you'll be doing is routing where you would normally have a physical input or output. You'll be routing effectively through your Ethernet port. And so you can embed the audio into your video or extract it. So in the case of Bridge Live, that's a really big announcement. This is a 1RU device that has been designed to basically handle the transfer of baseband video across 12G SDI to a range of codecs, or the other way around, decompress from a range of codecs to 12G SDI. And we're supporting all the major new codecs. So you've got a choice of codecs there, and also very robust transport methodology, including SRT, secure, reliable transport. This device is capable of taking up to 4 HD channels in or out at a time. It can handle UltraHD. And you could actually be encoding and decoding at the same time. If you think about it, you're in a remote location, coming off your SDI equipment, you're sending a compressed stream to a central location. You could also be receiving a signal coming the other way, plugging into monitor with really low latency that's going on. This creates a pretty seamless experience. We're trying to ensure that people can work and bridge between their professional point-to-point protocols, which is what SDI is about, and utilize the OTT environment, in other words, public internet here, to be able to move their video materials around as they need to. Advantages of 12G SDI amount to the fact that you've got a single cable that can handle all the way up to 4K Ultra HD. It also means that you have less physical cable to have to run around with, which in today's environment, where there's less people that are able to congregate, you got less staff that can handle things. That's kind of key. It also makes your troubleshooting a lot simpler. 12G SDI simplifies all that. And so alongside that, we also announced what's called the OG ROY SDI. So this is another openGear card. ROY stands for Region of Interest. And what that means is this card is designed to take a 3G SDI source, in this case, and then output an extraction from that original source to both SDI and HDMI. This is a very big item within the Pro AV space because it allows you to take a horizontal image, for instance, and select your boundaries and even rotate it for vertical screens. So as we've seen with news broadcasts, sports broadcasts, live events, church environments, etc., people are being very creative in the ways in which they use displays as part of their visual experience. So the OG ROY SDI joins a range of previous cards we put out, whether they've been DisplayPort sources, HDMI sources, DVI sources. So those, of course, were more geared towards handling computer outputs, that type of thing. In this case, this will help you work with straight baseband video, which is very helpful. Sometimes people have materials they've utilized in the past, but their graphics and things at the bottom of the screen they don't want. And the other great thing is a card that allows you to effectively do frame rate conversions as well. So you don't just choose the output raster size, but you can choose a particular frame rate, which can be really helpful if you've got sources that are working at slightly different frame rates. You can effectively standardize that material. So again, being an OG card or openGear card, you can fit 10 of those in the frame as well. So we basically are addressing what we've always done really well. AJ as a company goes back 30 years, and our key thrust is to effectively convert and bridge different standards, different connectivity types, to help make sure that we take clients of current infrastructure into the future. And there's no doubt that a time period like this that we're all living through, things like remote production, or REMI as they call it, requires a lot of assistance, and it requires all of us to be more conversant with IP. So part of the point of working with something like Dante audio, for instance, it is very easy to work with. You know, there aren't issues with discovery with different devices across the network. It's really simple. The software is almost like working with a spreadsheet in terms of just routing from your various input-output channels to their sources and destinations. So it's simplifying what can be really complex stuff, and it's ensuring that you can handle a range of destinations. So with the bridge line, for instance, by using all these common codecs, by tying into CDNs, into things like AWS, it means that you as a producer now have so many platforms that you can deliver to, and this is designed to do it all in real time.